Today I'm going to be installing hood struts on my Ford Maverick, so the very first thing I want to do is I want to put down some painter's tape. You don't have to do this, but this will just help to make sure that you get realigned whenever you're done. Then we can cut that and we'll know this is where we were when we started. And I'll do the same thing on the other side. The interesting thing here, it actually looks like this is a little bit lower on the hood than it is on the body. So that'll just help you whenever you get done to make sure that you're not like second guessing yourself. So like, how was it actually when you started? So one thing I'm curious about is whether or not this is actually going to increase the length. So right now we are at almost 28 inches to the top. I'm pretty sure it does, and that's one of the reasons I wanted to get this, is so I have a little bit more clearance because I'm fairly tall. I want to be smacking my head on the hood. Also, just getting this thing out of the way anytime I want to work under here, not having this I'm going to be bumping into, that's going to make all the difference. So aside from just the luxury. So we got a couple of brackets. These actually have a nice, like almost a powder coat finish to them. So we got 4 brackets, 2 struts, and then some nuts and bolts. So I'm going to start by installing the passenger side bracket. You can see it's got an R labeled on there, and that is going to install like this. So this is a 10mm. And when this strut sits in place, there's a chance it could interfere with the washer fluid reservoir. So I'm going to put on these 3 washers as a spacer to kind of push it down a little bit. Then this big hole is going to go underneath this thread. It's going to sit on top. On the driver's side, got basically the same thing. Big hole. It goes underneath the existing bolt. We got our 10mm bolt and a 10mm nut that goes underneath. Okay, now you can take more of that painter's tape and you could put that around here and kind of match that up, but since this is under the hood, I'm not as worried about it. I'm just going to take some magic marker and I'm going to kind of mark that in a couple of spots. So this is a 13. I'm going to put that with the ball facing out. I'm just going to go right in the same spot. I'm going to get everything realigned. So let's see how we're doing so far. Tape is off just a little bit, so I need to bring the hood this way. Okay, that is looking better. On the passenger side, we gotta do the same thing, but the window washer fluid line is in the way, so we gotta pop that. And move that on the other side. So I'm going to do the same thing and mark this up. Cool. So all that looks good. So we just take the ball and snap it in, and we can either pull it down, which can be tough, or we can just lift the hood up to make that better line up. There we go. Okay, well, so apparently one is actually strong enough to hold this one up. We do want to make sure we're putting these on that the cylinder goes on the top and the rod goes on the bottom. Okay. Ooh, that's nice. Ooh. Okay, so we do still slam. That is much not, it actually feels more open having it like this. Just not having that rod there. We are now at about 30.5. So we got about 2.5 inches more clearance. And then if you want to, this did come with these Maverick stickers. So these are the Maverick, but it also has the Longhorn from the 1970s Mavericks. So you can throw this on if you want, but it is very much a to each their own. Looks okay. I think it would have looked better if it was painted on, because the clear kind of, it does stand out a little bit. And I imagine with the heat that's probably going to rule. So I'm just going to take that off. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, okay, I take it back. That's interesting. Okay, that actually looks good. You can see it over there too. So there's 4. I put one on one side, one on the other side, so you can see it no matter which side of the strut you're actually on. I think if I was going to do it again, I would probably put those stickers on before I attached them. Or, you know, I could have just taken them off and put them on. But anyway, they're on. So yeah, they look good. It gives me a little bit more clearance top to bottom, and I don't have that rod sitting in the way. And all I have to do is kind of pull it up a little bit and not have to do anything else. So yeah, that is a nice kit. Now I did notice that when I go to close it, if you look right here, you can kind of see it bending down a little bit. So I think if I was to have designed it, I probably would have put it on the double seam instead of just the single plate. It would have made it a little bit stronger. I don't think that's going to cause a problem. It just kind of, it's one of those things that irks me a little bit. So that's just something to keep in mind. Cool.